This presentation covers the conclusion of Aldous Huxley's novel, Brave New World. Linda's death. Although Linda has brought up John the Savage on the reservation with positive stories of the New World Order in London where she is from, when the two return to where they are from with Bernard Marx, who invites them in order to embarrass Thomas the director by revealing John as his biological son and Linda as John's mother, John quickly becomes disillusioned with the New World Order and their values that are the complete opposite of his own. One major reason for his disillusionment, in addition to his failed love affair with Lenina, who's only interested in sex without romance or love, is the way his mother is treated as she dies. He is first appalled that the doctors encourage her to take a soma holiday by consuming so much of the drug that it actually kills her, while making her so out of touch with reality that she not only feels no pain or sadness, but does not even recognize her own son and is unable to reflect on the meaning of her life or reflect on good times with her son. When he visits his mother on her deathbed in Park Lane Hospital for the Dying, he is outraged that a troop of 8-year-old children are invited to play around his dying mother and ask her offensive questions such as why she is so ugly and fat, which is part of the death conditioning designed to make death seem less frightening. He is disgusted that his mother is so drugged up that she doesn't even recognize him when she dies, whereas the nurse John gets to help her is more concerned with the negative impact John's grief and uncontrollable tears will have on the death conditioning of the children who are present, and hands out eclairs in an attempt to lighten the mood and make death seem like a pleasant experience. In taking the fear and pain from death, the New World Order has also taken the meaning out of life and lessened the bond between loved ones, which is also made, of course, through natural childbirth and raising one's children, regardless of the hard work, pain, frustration, and difficulties that also come with natural parenting, which, of course, is outlawed in the New World Order. Views of William Shakespeare's work. John has been brought up reading and loving the works of William Shakespeare because of the intense human emotion Shakespeare evokes. He quotes Shakespeare with the same frequency that those of the New World Order quote the meaningless, hyponopoeic phrases they are conditioned with from birth. On the other hand, Shakespeare has actually been outlawed in the New World Order precisely for the reason John loves his work. It provokes intense human emotion and threatens stability that can only be obtained through reducing intense emotions such as romantic passion, love, hate, fear, jealousy, anger, etc. These emotions can lead to murder, war, and civil unrest. The sanitizing of emotion makes John's passion and love of Shakespeare seem ridiculous and foolish to those of the New World Order. When John quotes The Tempest, Romeo and Juliet, King Lear, and Othello, he is met with confusion, incomprehension, and laughter. Even the alpha and intelligent rebel Hemmelholtz Watson, who loves the poetic language of Shakespeare, laughs hysterically when John reads him Romeo and Juliet, since he finds it ridiculous that they have biological parents who care so much about their children, and that Romeo and Juliet would actually commit suicide over their romantic love for one another. John frequently quotes the lines, "O brave new world that has such people in it," from Shakespeare's play The Tempest, in reference to London in the New World Order, and the meaning of how it is a brave new world becomes increasingly ironic and cynical as he comes to realize they are not brave at all in their fear of pain and reluctance to risk any sort of displeasure in order to experience life fully and intensely as Shakespeare describes in his famous plays. The poetic lines of Shakespeare, which evoke dramatically intense human passion and emotion, contrast greatly with the contrite hypnopadic messages the people of the New World Order are conditioned to repeat, such as "A gram in time saves 9, progress is lovely, everyone works for everyone else, everyone belongs to everyone else, orgy-porgy, Ford and fun, kiss the girls and make them one, never put off till tomorrow the fun you can have today, and everybody's happy nowadays," etc. Climax of Brave New World. The climax of the novel occurs right after John the Savage's mother dies, and he attempts to instigate a riot among a group of Delta workers by throwing their Soma rations out the window and pleading with them to choose freedom over stability. They cannot comprehend what he is saying and become angry and storm after him. Helmholtz Watson tries to save John as does Bernard Marx, who at first hesitates, revealing his cowardice. However, the riot is diffused when the police show up and spray Soma vapor and a powerful anesthetic. Meanwhile, a recorded voice asks why the rioters are not happy together, brainwashing them to calm down, and soon the Deltas are crying, kissing one another, and apologizing. Their Soma rations are quickly restored, and John, Helmholtz Watson, and Bernard Marx are efficiently whisked off to see Mustafa Mond, where Helmholtz Watson and Bernard Marx are exiled to pleasant islands, where all those who do not fit in with the New World state, typically intelligent and individualistic people, exist together. Mustafa Mond has a long discussion with John the Savage, explaining the philosophy of the New World Order and how they keep stability by repressing emotions, pain, art, history, religion, and individuality, and promoting consumerism, technology, and community. At the end of their conversation, John the Savage declares that he wants God, poetry, real danger, freedom, goodness, and sin. Although Mustafa Mond tells him that his wishes lead to unhappiness, John agrees, but does not relinquish his wishes and chooses to live out his life isolated in an abandoned lighthouse away from the rest of society. The lighthouse scene. The lighthouse is ironically designed to help those who are lost at sea find their way by lighting the way to safety. And this lighthouse has been abandoned in the New World Order, suggesting that they no longer are given direction to find the truth through religion or any other moral compass. John has seen the truth, but he cannot be safe or happy in the New World Order because their values are so incompatible to his own. In the lighthouse, John frequently whips himself to help himself feel intense pain and to atone his base desires, such as his sexual desires for Lenina. One day, some Delta Minus workers see John whipping himself. The next day, reporters come to interview him. John kicks one of the reporters and angrily demands that they respect his solitude. The newspapers publish the incident, and more reporters flock to John's home. He reacts to them with increasing violence and becomes a novelty and celebrity to the people of the New World Order, who cannot understand him and find him fascinating. Fans come to visit, and one day Lenina comes to see him. She steps out of a helicopter, walks towards him with open arms. John calls her a strumpet and proceeds to whip her, saying, "Oh, the flesh! Kill it! Kill it!" Fascinated by the spectacle, the crowd mimes his gestures, dances, and sings the hymn, "Orgy, porgy, orgy," etc. After midnight, the helicopters leave, and John collapses, and after being sprayed with Soma, he is disgusted by the frenzy of sensuality he has allowed himself to get caught up in. When he awakes the next day, he remembers everything with horror. Having read about the orgy of atonement in the papers, a swarm of visitors descends on John's lighthouse, discovering that he has hanged himself. The people who find him say he was rotating back and forth, spinning with no direction. His feet are compared to a compass that is not working properly. Slowly, very slowly, like two unhurried compass needles, the feet turn toward the right, north, northeast, east, southeast, south, south, southwest, and then paused, and then after a few seconds turn as unhurriedly back towards the left. South, southwest, south, southeast, east, etc. Ironically, the lighthouse gives no direction to John. He cannot exist in this brave new world, and he dies without hope or direction, which is a criticism and a warning to the readers about allowing our society to become like the New World state.